So in Maryland, we have two mechanisms for youth to get charged as adults. The first is they can get waived up, which is where they are initially charged as a juvenile, and a judge hears the case, and they will decide to waive that juvenile up to the adult criminal justice system.
A state's attorney is standing there trying to get a case waived up into the adult system, and he's telling the court, the judge, that the young man standing before him presents as an adult at 17 years old. He presents as an adult because he has a part-time job, because we have him in an alternative program. He presents as an adult because he lives at home, with his mother. He is going to school part-time, and he has tattoos.
The second option for a kid to be charged as an adult is through what we call automatic prosecution, where if the youth is charged and they're of a certain age, 14 or above for certain crimes, 16 or above for other crimes, if they're charged with a certain offense, there's a list of 33 of them, offenses, then you are automatically charged as an adult.
We know from watching the TV shows, and we know from reality that you always charge certain offenses, and we plea bargain. And a police officer is trained, fairly so, to charge with the most serious crime that they can see, and then the prosecutors and the defense attorneys and the courts work it out. So we have a 16-year-old girl with no record who lives with her grandmother. This was well documented in the papers because she was charged as an adult. Comes home one day, gets in I think it was over posters she wanted to put up on the wall. It was a very, something that I think we can all relate to. But got in an argument, and we know that a lot of our teenagers have a hard time suppressing their anger and emotion. Obviously this is an issue. She got in a fight with her grandmother, ended up on her grandmother's chest yelling at her. No blows were struck, nothing like that. She got up, walked out of the house, ran away in tears, crying. Minutes after she left, the grandmother suffered a heart attack and passed. She was charged with second-degree murder. And, as it played, it's not how things played out long term, but you have a young person, and the public sees something that looks horrible.
They're taken away from everything. They go away for a period of time. The state spends an awful lot of money. They come back to the same community that they came from, but that community really had nothing to offer to begin with.
So it's designed. So if you come home and you got parole and probation, but yet you don't have any skills, in order to stay away from the drug game, to stay away from certain people giving you a package, then how have you been helped? Locking you up have not been helping you if there's no tools for you to be able to build your home.
The families are just worn out. I mean, they don't have the capacity to deal with it and respond with it, and so it becomes a normative thing. It's just that's what's normal in the environment. And because that's what's normal, then you have this alternative activity that goes on, and kids who really are getting their act together and doing the right thing get impugned from some of their peers in the neighborhood, because in a way it's jealousy. It's like, oh my gosh, you got a real job, you got a GED, well heck, no.
Folks talk about, well, how are you going to get these kids to act right?
It's challenging. It's challenging because you can't give them in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month what was done to them for 14, 15, and 16 years.
They're all that talking to a person, they don't work with kids. Like if you tell a kid to stop, don't touch the stove because it's hot, he ain't going to stop touching the stove because it's hot. He going to touch it, it's going to be hot, and he ain't going to touch it no more, you feel me?
I wouldn't keep on saying the same old thing that somebody would always say on the street, the drill in their head, because it's basically no use, like they just going to pay it no mind. But giving them a real story about how the world works and how things goes out here, it just would kind of give them a perspective of what to do and what not to do.
The only reason why we have youth offenders is because you have a generation of adults who have failed these youth.
They need mentoring, they need mental health, they need educational resources, and those are the resources that they're not getting in these adult prisons.
I don't think elected officials should get accolades for being tough on crime when they know the only reason there's crime to begin with is because people don't have opportunity. I think that's not leadership.
The corruption comes within government because they want youth to do right, but they're not giving them the proper tools.
It's about fear. Never before in my life have I seen a time that because of gangs and other issues of violence, people are more scared of young people. Putting more kids in the adult system is ironically, the only strategy that is actually proven not to work. That seems to be the direction Maryland's heading.
So you need to have advocates that say, hey, These kids don't need to be charged as adults, but they need this kind of structure instead of a prison. Or they don't need to be sent in placement 2,000 miles away from home, getting angrier and angrier and angrier. They need to be here, but maybe in a transitional home instead of their own house. I've been in courtrooms for my students, and victims came in and said, I don't want you to throw another young black man away. Yes, he made a mistake, but it wasn't worth his life. And so to have someone say that who was actually the one that was robbed, or who was actually the one who might have gotten beat up, means a lot to a judge, because it's like, hey, even they don't agree with this. So if the advocates don't agree, the students don't agree, the victims don't agree, then why are we doing this to these kids?
I think the fact that young people are frustrated, that's a good thing. But I think that energy have to be channeled in the right direction. But I think if young people can begin to say, look, this is where we are, this is who we are, and this is what we need. I think then when young people begin to create a voice, or the youth, then I think that they have a better opportunity, more so than myself or anyone else.
I know it's hard. I mean, I know it's hard to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But you always gotta keep your head up and try to shoot for the right thing. If you want good for yourself, you gotta work hard for it. You know, the easy way out is just doing what you want. You know what I'm saying? Getting how you live for real.
Well, like in a jail, that's when it really first kicked in. Being around Jessica and some of the people she had in there with us, the volunteers and stuff. But at that point in time, it just felt good to go to the program just to get out the cell for real. But as I really came home and the judge court ordered me to be in the program for 2 years, it's like, I'm gonna keep it real, like, it been keeping me on track, like, focusing on really trying to get a job and all that, because I think if it wasn't for me being in this program, I wouldn't be worried about none of that right now. I wouldn't go out and do the same dumb things I've been doing, because I know better than that, but I wouldn't be out here looking for a job or wanting better for myself.
It's structured and they help you to do things in your spare time so that you won't have to be out there doing anything, you know, that you ain't supposed to do. It keeps you busy. I came here basically to better my life.
My life in comparison now is way better than back then.
In 5 years, where do you see yourself?
In 5 years, I see myself being a computer technologist, following my dreams, being a computer technologist, knowing that that's going to be the best career out there, that's always going to be out there no matter what.
Derek, what about you?
I want to see myself with a high level of education that I have right now. A car, a nice house, be able to support myself in a stable career. I want a career, not a job, for 5 years.
5 years, I would like to be basically have, you know what I'm saying, a nice foundation for real, you know what I'm saying, like to be steady with it, you know what I'm saying, ain't struggling, maintain it for real. And have a degree in business.
5 years ago, I was still on the track. I didn't think I was going to be right here, right now in school, trying to better myself. All I was thinking about was papers.
I never thought that I would be, like, about to graduate, out of job, all this, that, and third, you feel me? And I never thought I would be as real as I am, you feel me?
Yo,
like,
crazy.
It's crazy.
Nah, 5 years ago, I was doing good. Like, 5 years ago, in middle school, I was smart. Like, I ain't hooked school. I went to school. Like, my people was on me about school. School was important. Like, 5 years ago, I wasn't getting in trouble. I wasn't doing nothing. 5 years ago, I was like a straight A student.
So what happened?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't know. My bad fell in that trap life.
Everything got different. Like, I don't know what happened. A downward spiral happened. That's what happened. I just fell off, basically. I'm getting back on track now, though, so, hey, I'm trying to benefit myself now. That's all I gotta say. support that.
Don't speak to me this way. Don't ever let me say, don't leave me again. Don't leave me again. Oh, you never felt this lost before, and the world is closing doors. I never wanted anything more. Don't hurt me this way. Don't touch me this way. Don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again. Don't let me make the same mistake again. Please don't let me make the same mistake again. Please don't let me make the same mistake again. Don't let me make the same mistake.